Hollywood's golden age was obsessed with perfection. The stars were flawless, especially their hair. Every curl, every wave, every strand was meticulously crafted for the spotlight. But behind the scenes, studios controlled every detail. Perfection was demanded. Imperfections, especially thinning hair, were hidden at all costs. Wigs, toupees, and secrets became the tools of the trade. The illusion of perfect hair was everything. The truth? It was hidden in plain sight. Humphrey Bogart was born in New York City in 1899, the son of a prominent illustrator and a magazine writer. He grew up surrounded by art and culture, but his early years were marked by rebellion and restlessness. After serving in the Navy during World War I, Bogart drifted into acting almost by accident, starting on the stage before making his way to Hollywood. In the 1930s, Bogart struggled in minor roles, often cast as a gangster or tough guy. His big break came in 1941 with The Maltese Falcon, where he played the hard-boiled detective Sam Spade. That same year he starred as Rick Blaine in Casablanca, a role that would define his career and make him a legend. Bogart's on-screen persona was one of rugged authenticity. He seemed real, a man who didn't care about appearances. But that honestly was just another part of the performance. In reality, Bogart was deeply concerned with his image, especially as he became one of Hollywood's most bankable stars. One of his biggest insecurities was his thinning hair. Bogart began losing it early in his career, and by the time he was a leading man, he relied on a toupee to maintain his iconic look. The secret of Bogart's hairpiece was fiercely protected by the studio. Warner Brothers went to great lengths to keep up the illusion. Only a select few, his trusted makeup artist and hairstylist, were allowed to see him without his hairpiece. They would arrive early to carefully affix the toupee, making sure it blended seamlessly with his remaining hair. Off-screen, Bogart's life was just as dramatic. In 1945 he married Lauren Bacall, his co-star in To Have and Have Not. Their romance became legendary, and together they were Hollywood royalty. Bacall was one of the few who knew all of Bogart's secrets, and she loved him all the more for it. The toupee was not just a vanity project, it was a professional necessity. It allowed Bogart to play the roles we remember: Rick Blaine, Sam Spade, and so many more. The hairpiece became part of his legend, a crown for the king of cool. Even today, Bogart's legacy endures as the ultimate Hollywood icon, flaws, secrets, and all. Frank Sinatra was more than just a singer, he was a phenomenon. Born in Hoboken, New Jersey, he rose from humble beginnings, singing in local clubs before joining the big bands of Harry James and Tommy Dorsey. By the early 1940s, his smooth voice and magnetic stage presence made him a teen idol, with crowds of adoring fans known as the Bobby Soxers. As his fame soared, Sinatra transitioned to Hollywood, starring in films like From Here to Eternity, a role that won him an Academy Award. He became a true crossover star, collecting Grammys, Oscars, and Golden Globes, and redefining what it meant to be an entertainer. But behind the effortless confidence and signature fedora, Sinatra was fighting a private battle with male-pattern baldness. By the 1950s, he rarely appeared in public without a meticulously crafted hairpiece. His image, timeless, cool, untouchable, depended on it. Sinatra's collection of toupees was legendary. He had different pieces for every occasion, performing on stage, starring in films, or relaxing with friends. Each was custom-made from the finest human hair, blending seamlessly with his natural look. His stylists and inner circle guarded the secret fiercely. During his Rat Pack days, Sinatra was surrounded by legends: Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., and more. Their camaraderie was famous, and Dean often joked about Sinatra's rugs. It was an open secret among friends, but to the public the illusion was absolute. The chairman of the board remained flawless, his secret scalp hidden beneath the spotlight. John Wayne was born Marion Robert Morrison in Winterset, Iowa, in 1907. He grew up in Southern California, where he excelled at sports and dreamed of becoming a football star. But fate had other plans. An injury ended his athletic ambitions, and he found himself working as a prop boy and extra on Hollywood sets. His big break came in 1939, when director John Ford cast him as the Ringo Kid in Stagecoach. The role transformed him into a star overnight. From that moment, John Wayne became the face of the American West, rugged, stoic, and larger than life. Over the next 3 decades, Wayne starred in more than 140 films. He played cowboys, soldiers, and pioneers, always embodying a certain kind of American ideal. His signature roles included Ethan Edwards in The Searchers, Tom Donovan in The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, and Rooster Cogburn in True Grit, which won him an Oscar. Despite his tough guy image, Wayne was not immune to insecurity. He began losing his hair in the 1940s, just as his career was taking off. For the rest of his life, he relied on a toupee to maintain his iconic look. The secret was hidden in plain sight. Wayne's favorite accessory was the 10-gallon hat. It was part of his legendary Western persona, but it also conveniently covered his thinning hair. When he wasn't in a cowboy hat, he was often seen in a military helmet or other headwear, always keeping up the illusion. Off-screen, Wayne was known for his sense of humor and candor. In the 1970s, while visiting Harvard University, a student challenged him about his hair. Wayne grinned, took off his hairpiece and declared, "It's not phony, it's real hair. Of course it's not my hair, but it's real." Through it all, John Wayne remained an American icon. His influence on cinema and popular culture is undeniable. The Duke's legacy endures, not just as a symbol of rugged masculinity, but as a reminder that even legends have their secrets. Rita Hayworth, born Margarita Carmen Cancino, was Hollywood's ultimate love goddess. Her journey from a Spanish dancer's daughter to international icon is the stuff of legend. With her dazzling beauty and magnetic presence, she became the face of an era. But Rita's transformation was not just about talent. The studio system reinvented her. Her naturally dark hair was dyed a vibrant red, and her hairline was painfully raised through electrolysis to fit Hollywood's beauty ideals. The result was breathtaking. Her new look debuted in the 1941 film Blood and Sand, captivating audiences everywhere. Magazine covers and film stills showcased her as the epitome of glamour, and her image became a symbol of fiery passion and sensuality. During World War II, a famous photograph of Hayworth in a black negligee became the most requested pinup for American soldiers. She was more than a movie star. She was a morale booster, a dream, and an icon for millions. Off-screen, Rita's life was as dramatic as her roles. She starred in classics like Gilda and CoverGirl, and her marriages to Orson Welles and Prince Ali Khan made headlines. Yet beneath the glamour, she struggled with the pressures of fame and the expectations placed upon her. Rita Hayworth's legacy endures. Her iconic red hair, her unforgettable performances, and her image as the ultimate pinup have left an indelible mark on Hollywood history. She remains a symbol of transformation, resilience, and timeless allure. Fred Astaire was grace personified. Long before Hollywood, he dazzled audiences on the vaudeville stage as a child, dancing alongside his sister Adele. Their act was a sensation, and by the time Fred arrived in Hollywood, he was already a legend in the making. In Hollywood, Astaire's partnership with Ginger Rogers became the stuff of movie legend. Together, they redefined the musical film, gliding across polished floors in routines that seemed effortless, but were the result of endless rehearsal and perfectionism. Astaire's movements were fluid, elegant, and precise. He made dancing look as natural as breathing, always impeccably dressed in his signature top hat, white tie, and tails. His routines set a new standard for artistry in film. But behind the scenes, Astaire was intensely private and a notorious perfectionist. Like many of his contemporaries, he had a secret he kept from the public, a significantly receding hairline and a large bald spot on the crown of his head. From his earliest days in film, he relied on a carefully crafted hairpiece to maintain his suave, debonair image. He was meticulous about his wardrobe, his dancing, and of course, his hair. Ginger Rogers, his most famous dance partner, was certainly aware of it. Their professional relationship was famously intense, but she never betrayed his confidence. The unspoken rule in Hollywood was that you did not talk about another star's secret. Astaire's perfectionism extended to every detail. He would rehearse routines for hours, seeking absolute precision. His collaborations with choreographers and composers produced some of the most iconic numbers in film history. Over his career, Astaire won an honorary Academy Award and received countless accolades for his artistry. His influence can be seen in every musical that followed. Yet, the magic of his performances was always a carefully maintained illusion, on the dance floor and beneath his famous top hat. The golden age of Hollywood was ruled by the studio system. Studios like MGM, Paramount, and Warner Brothers were not just production companies, they were star-making factories. They signed actors to long-term restrictive contracts. These contracts dictated nearly every aspect of a star's life. The studios had entire departments dedicated to hair, makeup, and wardrobe. These were not just stylists. They were illusionists. They were tasked with creating and maintaining the public personas of the stars. If a male star began to lose his hair, the hair department was immediately put on high alert. It was their job to solve the problem. The studios also controlled the press. They had powerful publicity departments that worked hand in hand with gossip columnists and movie magazines. They planted favorable stories and suppressed negative ones. A photograph of a star without their hairpiece was considered a major crisis. The publicists would work tirelessly to kill the story or discredit the photograph. Today, authenticity is often valued more than manufactured perfection. Many male stars like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Vin Diesel, and Bruce Willis have embraced their baldness. They have made it a part of their signature look. It has become a symbol of masculinity and confidence, a far cry from when it was seen as a weakness. The journey from Humphrey Bogart's secret toupee to The Rock's celebrated bald head reflects a broader cultural shift. We no longer expect our stars to be flawless. We are more interested in their talent, humanity, and honesty. The pressure to be perfect still exists, but the definition of perfection has become more inclusive. The secrets of the Golden Age serve as a reminder of when illusion was king. Today, while the magic of cinema endures, there is a growing appreciation for the real people behind the roles, thinning hair and all.